All right, let's move on to South Carolina then with Alex Murdaugh in this trial. Something very interesting popped up yesterday. The prosecution mentioned that there were two guns that may have been used in these killings. So that's two guns for two people who were killed, one a shotgun, one a rifle. And I'm just curious, what is more likely, that the same man used two guns, or the theory that the defense is putting out there that there was a second shooter involved? And also, is that enough for reasonable doubt?
Oh, it's definitely enough for reasonable doubt. And all it takes is for one juror to have one reasonable doubt to actually hang this jury, to cause a mistrial, to cause the prosecution to have to present this case to another jury. It just takes one juror. And that one juror can probably even lead the other jurors to try to get an acquittal on this case. So we know that the defense is doing an excellent job. They're trying to poke holes any which way they can, because you never know which one reasonable doubt can actually cause an acquittal or hang this jury. But the prosecution is doing what they can, and what they should be doing is laying out the facts, laying out the evidence, laying down the concrete evidence, laying down the scientific evidence of having an expert who will soon come in, whether it's today or next week, to testify in terms of the gunshot residue, to testify of the stippling, that it couldn't be two shooters because both Paul and Maggie Murdaugh both had stippling, meaning that the shooter had to have been within 18 inches of the injury itself to have been able to shoot both of them, because they both had stippling.
So they found gunshot residue inside of a raincoat that Alex Murdaugh was wearing. But in the video that we have seen, we're seeing a very clean Murdaugh. He doesn't seem to have blood on him. He doesn't seem to have any rips or tears or anything like that. But then also we're seeing video from the body cam of them searching the apartment or the hunting lodge, where it seems like the police are collegial with him. They're sitting on the couch. They're kind of talking to him. It seems like they didn't really view him as a suspect to begin with. And I'm kind of curious if that has messed up the investigation, the amount to which they allowed him to be around that crime scene, seeing as in retrospect, and now he's a suspect, and now he's the one that they are trying to pin this case on. Does that hurt their case, the way they dealt with it in the immediate aftermath?
So, Mitch, two different issues. So in terms of how comfortable they were with Mr. Murdaugh, because you got to think that is a family dynasty that they were dealing with. Everyone knew who Alex Murdaugh was, to the point at least where one of the sergeants or special agents was like, this is Alex Murdaugh. Maybe we should bring a different law enforcement agency to come in and to do the investigation. And that's how they got this South Carolina Law Enforcement Division involved, so there can be no appearance of impropriety. The problem is that Alex Murdaugh was still left on that scene. First off, from the 911 call, he was left on that scene for 20 minutes. And let's take it a step back, because what the prosecution is focused on is on the timeline. So you have Maggie and Paul being shot, I think around 8:40 or 8:50, somewhere around there. But then Alex Murdaugh leaves the property and says that he goes to his mother's house. I think it's during that time when you lose the rifle and the blackout shotgun. That's when you lose those key pieces of evidence, because you can't account for what happened during that time. So the investigation was messed up in a few ways. I hope the prosecution can overcome it, but they have to stick to the facts, stick to the timeline, stick to the cell site data and the scientific evidence in order to try their best to get a conviction if Alex Murdaugh is the person responsible for shooting to death his son and his wife.
It all comes down to convincing 12 people beyond a reasonable doubt that he did this, and that can be a difficult burden for anybody. As you well know, Bernarda Villalona, she's a criminal defense attorney. She was a prosecutor. She knows what she's talking about. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation in your cable lineup. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-based, unbiased coverage.